Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with you today with an article from the MRC Newsbusters, really the Newsbusters that are part of the Media Research Center. So Newsbusters, it's America's media watchdog, conservative-leaning group. So it's an article from June 21st, and it's going to go into something that I'm sure you all are very aware of, and it's, the column says, it's the unmissable liberal tilt of the fact-checkers. And I think I already did one previous video on something similar to this, but this one's a little bit different. So how this came up, and you're going to see in the very first sentence here, is that the CNN and fact checker Daniel Dale, he tends to just pop up whenever Trump comes around. Like, he never fact checks Joe Biden and anything Joe Biden says as lies at all. He just you know, like every time Joe Biden comes out and says his son Beau died in Iraq, which he didn't, he died of cancer, like in America, unfortunately. He was only like 42, so he was young. Like, this guy's nowhere to be found and says nothing, but like Trump comes out and basically says, like, the sky looks like a shade of greenish blue. This guy comes out and he's like, well, this, you know, because of the ozone in the layer, it's really blue. I don't know why I give him a gruff voice. He does not have a gruff voice. He's a very effeminate dude. But anyway, let's go into this, because yeah, this dude and the other fact checkers like him always seem to be leaning towards one side of the political spectrum. So what I would say is that if you know anything about fact checkers, I'd say just they're not good at what they do, or they're extraordinarily biased. So the article says, conservatives on Twitter are mocking CNN fact checker Daniel Dale again, as they should, especially since his Twitter bio explains his work as, I fact checked the president. Fox News reported on June 16th that Dale hasn't published a fact check of President Biden since March 30th, and that was only online, not on TV. Since that time, though, his database shows 21 byline stories or on-air appearances that fact-check claims made by Republicans, most of them Trump. So he's not really fact-checking the president. Remember, Trump is not the president right now, so what are you doing, Daniel Dale? As one of the reasons you can laugh at the phrase independent fact checkers is the obvious tilt in targeting. CNN may not be paid by the Democrats, but the target list makes it look like they are. CNN's obsession over Trump always prompts the question, who is the president now? Because CNN acts like Trump never lost, right? Says Joe Biden simply isn't someone powerful enough to evaluate. Since Joe Biden can repeatedly suggest that Republicans are pushing Jim Crow 2.0 as if they were all segregationists, which Republicans were never the party of that, if you know anything about history at all, doesn't Dale and his colleagues say nothing? An actress can wisecrack on CBS Live coverage of the Tony Awards that Governor Ron DeSantis is a grand wizard of the certain group that starts with the letter after J times 3, and nobody objects. Yeah, you should go look that up. Yeah, this lady at the Tony Awards said that, and like, you know, of course, the whole crowd there, which is liberal or leftist, is like, who, you know, whooping and hollering about, oh, that's hilarious, and everybody else is like, you're an idiot, you know. But anyway, let's go on with the article. It says, on June 16th in Hartford, Biden falsely claimed that every damn day in America, in areas that are poor, mostly minority, there's a mass shooting. Fact checkers assemble. That's not true, but okay. It says PolitiFact is also an obvious example of tilt. For example, Ted Cruz and Elizabeth Warren were both elected to the Senate in 2012. Through 2016, Cruz was assessed for truth on 114 occasions by PolitiFact, and while he ran for president, Ted Cruz landed on the false side of their truthometer 65% of the time. I'd be interested to look at that and see if what he said actually was, because I doubt it was. I mean, I like Ted Cruz, but it's PolitiFact, which, yeah, they're not exactly they don't hold up to the name of their organization, the fact part. They are, again, extremely biased to the left. So it says, but Warren at that time, only 4 checks and not a single false, of course. And she says shit that's completely wrong pretty regularly. There's amazingly, PolitiFact never evaluated Warren on the truthometer when she claimed to be part Cherokee Indian. You know, that would be something that would be fact-checked, or should be. It says today, 4 years after Warren's own presidential campaign launched, Cruz has 167 fact checks, and 106 of them, that's 63.4%, are mostly false or pants on fire. And I'm sure PolitiFact had to spin the story, or what Ted Cruz said, to even get to that. It says Warren has only 35 checks, and only 6 of them are on that false side. And again, she's someone who lies repeatedly, but yeah, of course, because they lean in one direction. So check that number of false checks again. Cruz 106, Warren 6. Cruz was tagged as a pants on fire liar 11 times, while Warren, who's Pocahontas never drew one. We found that overall, in 2017 and through November 2018, conservatives and Republicans were tagged as pants on fire liars 96 times. Liberals and Democrats, 15. That's a margin of more than 6-1. And yeah, that should at least be the other way around, at the very least, if not more towards Republicans. So over his first 20 months in office, President Biden had 58 fact checks, while Biden's critics were checked 338 times. Overall, there were 5.8 fact checks of Biden critics for every one of the president. In an interview with the liberal website The Verge, which I wouldn't trust for any amount of money in the world, NBC's Chuck Todd, another person that's not trustworthy, exemplified the media's defiance of anyone who dares to assert a liberal bias. I hear the attacks on fact-checkers where they fact-check Republicans 6 times more than they fact-check Democrats. Yeah, perhaps the Republicans are being factually incorrect more often than the Democrats, which is just not true. I mean, you can go watch any of these shows, especially Chuck Todd. Like, Chuck Todd says incorrect shit on his show all the time. That's why he doesn't have a show anymore. Yeah, that's probably not the reason why, but I mean, he doesn't have a show anymore. So someone who asserts the Republicans lie 6 times more often than Democrats sounds like a Democrat. Chuck Todd is obviously a Democrat, and so are the independent fact checkers. That's correct. Yeah, I mean, this is why people, will sit here and say, like, oh, well, this is why this news organization says that. They get checked. And it's like all these organizations that do the checking they're on the same side. So, of course, they're going to do that. And you can see in a lot of the stuff, like, where did it say? With PolitiFact, where did it say that? Oh, whatever. But whatever it said about Ted Cruz, that it gave him all the different ratings. That, like, yeah, I'm sure, like I said, they probably here it is. How they had to, like, basically bend over backwards probably to get to these numbers. And Elizabeth Warren, who says BS, like, basically just by talking, just whenever she talks, somehow is just right about everything. Yeah, okay. It's completely unfair, but, that's just, I guess, the way it is. But that needs to change because it's obviously, Chuck Todd this is why he can say the thing that he says here, where it's like, perhaps the Republicans are being factually incorrect more often than the Democrats. That's why he's allowed to say that, because he's like, oh, well, yeah, see, we fact checked them. So now he feels like he's morally correct in saying that. He's not. Okay? Because just everybody aligns on the same side. Whatever. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. Do you think the fact checkers are biased towards the left? Do you think there should be some right-leaning fact checkers? Kind of like these guys are sort of, but not, they don't have the name or the trust, I guess, of, PolitiFact or any of those guys. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon.